everyone, it's Destiny, and today we are going to be going over the best Silver Wolf level 999 teams. Before we get into today's video, I'd love to know if you are going to be pulling for Silver Wolf, or if you're not going to be pulling her, which banner are you the most excited for? Lastly, if you'd like to see some more Star Rail content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and now let's get straight into it. Starting off with an overview of Silver Wolf, she will be our newest Elation DPS and is an imaginary character. When it comes to Silver Wolf's playstyle, she will be a fast DPS that uses MMR instead of energy. MMR is gained by generating punchline, which can be from Silver Wolf's own attacks such as her skill, her relation skill, allies generating punchline, and so on. One punchline will equate to 1 MMR, and once you reach 60 points, you'll be able to use Silver Wolf's ultimate. Silver Wolf's ultimate allows her to enter the God mode player state, and this is where she'll be able to deal massive damage onto enemies with her enhanced basic attack. She can utilize her loot box mechanic, and even allies can now utilize this mechanic as well when they consume skill points. Silver Wolf's Elation skill will also be enhanced once she uses her ultimate and enters the God mode player state, as prior to entering the state, her Elation skill will just gain her MMR. With her enhanced Elation skill now, she will now deal damage onto enemies as well. Silver Wolf's God mode player state will last for 3 enhanced basic attacks, and Silver Wolf will randomly utilize 3 loot boxes during this attack. Each loot box deals damage onto enemies and has a unique effect. Starting with Big Flippin' Sword, it'll deal true damage onto the enemy with the highest HP. Kaboom Explosion will gain 2 skill points for the team, and Funky Munch Bean will gain 3 punchline. These same loot boxes can be utilized by team members as well. Silver Wolf will also increase her enhanced basic attack damage based on how much MMR you accumulate, and she'll also gain crit rate based on how much MMR you have. If you reach 100% crit rate, then the remaining MMR will increase her crit damage. Once you exit the God mode player state, you'll have to accumulate MMR again to use her ultimate. Having team members who can generate frequent punchline will nicely help out with this. Additionally, Silver Wolf has a special passive where after obtaining her or when she's present in the current team, if an enemy inflicts a crowd control debuff on an ally, all allies will gain Firewall for 1 turn, and while in Firewall, all are immune to crowd control debuffs inflicted by enemies, and this can trigger 1 time per wave. Overall, Silver Wolf will be able to deal massive damage while in the God mode player state. He values teammates who can assist with punchline generation, debuffing enemies, and so on. One of Silver Wolf's best partners will be Sparxie. Sparxie will be able to consume a bunch of skill points on her turn, and this results in you being able to nicely take advantage of the loot boxes during Sparxie's turn, while Sparxie will also be able to generate a bunch of punchline and MMR for Silver Wolf as well. Sparxie will also be able to gain more thrill and generate more punchline now with at least 3 Elation characters on the team. Now we'll be able to take advantage of this with Silver Wolf. One of Silver Wolf's loot boxes also synergizes very nicely with Sparxie, being the Explosion loot box, as this will allow you to get back 2 skill points, which this is very useful for Sparxie to be able to consume more skill points during her turn. So this can allow Sparxie to further enhance her basic attack, resulting in her dealing more damage, but also being able to generate more punchline and as a result more MMR for Silver Wolf. Sparxie also being on the team will give up to an 80% crit damage increase, which of course will also be able to benefit Silver Wolf, and Sparxie and Silver Wolf overall can benefit each other with their kits. Another powerful synergy will be Yao Guang, as she'll be able to increase all allies' elation. She'll be able to gain punchline with her basic attack or skill. Yao Guang's Elation skill will also be able to inflict Woe's Whisper on all enemies, which is a vulnerability debuff, and this will now result in the rest of the team being able to deal more damage onto enemies, and Silver Wolf will be able to of course take advantage of this. And one of Yao Guang's biggest perks is that she is able to trigger Aha Instant when she uses her ultimate. There will be a fixed amount of 20 punchline taken into account, which this can benefit characters like Silver Wolf, it can benefit Sparxie, and all allies' ult-type res pen will also be increased by 20%, now resulting in them being able to deal even more damage onto enemies. So Yao Guang is going to be able to provide numerous boosts for the team, being an Elation boost, the ult-type res pen, she's going to be able to inflict a vulnerability debuff onto enemies, which results in enemies taking increased damage. And being able to trigger Aha Instant more frequently can result in better upkeep of the certified banger state. Since Silver Wolf is a very fast DPS character, she may actually run out of the certified banger state, but with a character like Yao Guang being able to trigger Aha Instant with her ultimate, this will actually nicely help out with being able to upkeep the certified banger state on your characters. So Yao Guang definitely provides numerous buffs that are pretty valuable for the Elation team. Now in the case if you don't have Sparxie, there is Elation Trailblazer. Elation Trailblazer is going to be able to generate punchline with their skill, and with their ultimate they're also going to give a buff to one of your characters, but also allow them to use their Elation skill once again. This can result in you using your Elation skill more frequently. In the case of Silver Wolf, this gives her more opportunities to deal more damage onto enemies, especially with her enhanced Elation skill. And from my testing so far, Elation Trailblazer can work as a decent substitute in the slot of Sparxie, which I will actually have a showcase coming out of this very soon, so do stay tuned for that. Other notable characters though that can be mentioned is you can use a character like Sparkle. Sparkle will be able to provide more skill points, action advance. She'll be able to increase the crit damage of an ally. Sparkle has vulnerability debuffs in her kit, and so on. So Sparkle can also be a consideration as well, and when it comes to the sustains, Huahua will be one of the best options, which you can actually get her for free from the Golden Companion shop in 4.2. Huahua will be able to provide attack buffs for characters on the team. She'll be able to provide cleansing. She can provide energy with her ultimate, which can result in characters in the team using their ultimates more frequently. More notably, characters like Sparxie, characters like Yao Guang, and then also Elation Trailblazer. And Huahua will also be receiving Nova Flare buffs very soon as well. If you do not have her though, or wish to use a different sustain, then you can consider a character like Dan Heng. There's also Gallagher, and when it comes to Hyacinth, her E2 is worth noting, as her E2 states that when an ally's HP decreases, speed will increase by 30%, and this will last for 2 turns. Silver Wolf values speed, as this will also increase her elation, so Silver Wolf can benefit from the E2 from Hyacinth. And when it comes to sustainless teams, there's multiple characters that you can consider using in the final slot of the team. Welt will be receiving some nice Nova Flare buffs coming very soon, and from what we do know so far from his kit, is that when he uses his ultimate, this will decrease enemies' defenses now, and also increase the damage enemies receive from allies. Of course, Welt will be able to provide even more perks with his Eidolons, so Welt can actually be a pretty nice option if you are considering sustainless. When it comes to other alternatives you can consider using if you are looking to do sustainless, you could technically do a full Elation team of Silver Wolf, Sparxie, Yao Guang, and Elation Trailblazer. You could have Sparkle in the final slot. You can have the normal Silver Wolf in the final slot, as she will be able to debuff enemies, reduce their defenses, and so on. There's also Cypher. Cypher will be able to record the damage being dealt onto enemies, which then she can unleash a bunch of damage with her ultimate, and also she'll inflict a vulnerability debuff onto all enemies just by being on the field. We have a character like Asta, and Asta is a completely free-to-play character who is going to be able to increase the speed of all allies. We also have a character like Tribbie. Tribbie will be able to provide ult-type res pen. With her ultimate zone, there will be a vulnerability debuff on all enemies, which will mean that now your characters will be able to deal more damage onto those enemies, and so on. There's multiple options you can use if you are deciding to go sustainless. And when it comes to Silver Wolf overall, she heavily benefits from having Elation team members on the team, especially due to how her ultimate mechanic works, as she will want to gain more MMR, and getting more MMR will also be able to increase the enhanced basic attacks damage dealt onto enemies as well. So being able to get a bunch of MMR for Silver Wolf will be very beneficial, and there are multiple characters that can help out with this. As mentioned, Sparxie is a nice option. Elation Trailblazer can also assist with this as well. Yao Guang being able to trigger Aha Instant more frequently is once again useful for not only being able to deal more Elation skills onto enemies, resulting in more damage being dealt to them, but also the fact that she'll be able to nicely assist with the upkeep of the certified banger state on all of your Elation characters. And once again, from what I've noticed from my tests so far, if you don't have Sparxie, you can use Elation Trailblazer. And overall, Silver Wolf will be a powerful DPS option for those that are building their Elation teams. She could definitely be a strong character to consider picking up, especially if you've already pulled a character like Yao Guang, maybe you pulled Sparxie, whatever it may be, or even if you know now that you do want to invest into Elation, Silver Wolf is going to be a strong DPS option. We'll be making videos on Evanesia nearing her release as well. Lastly, I would love to know if you are going to be pulling Silver Wolf or if you'll be skipping, and if you did enjoy today's video, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support today's video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.